He hit my hands. Nobody has ever hit my hands. I've never heard of this one. Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem.
I have a policy question for you, sir.
Let's see if he answers it.
Felicia says another woman is trying to seduce her man. Whoa.
Release the
You're
tape.
the one. Now, let me just tell you. Let me just tell you. Excuse me. I've given my answer, Lion Ted. Mitt Romney came up with things that were false.
And you're not going to stop the corruption in Washington by supporting someone who has supported liberal Democrats for 4 decades, from Jimmy Carter to John Kerry to Hillary Clinton.
Mr. Trump, hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Nice to be with you, Megan.
Great to have you here.
You're looking well.
Well, let's hear Big Don. Donald.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, little Marco.
Gentlemen, gentlemen.
You ought to show up.
Gentlemen, you got to do better than those.
Yeah, it did seem a little bit like an episode of Jerry Springer last night. Hard to tell the difference between the Springer audience and the Fox News debate audience as well. To make a little sense out of everything that happened last night, let's bring in our guests for our conversation today. And don't forget, get your phones ready. We have Brent Budowsky, columnist from The Hill, joining us right now. Also, Pete Seat, former White House spokesman for President George W. Bush. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us. We're going to open up the phone lines, answer questions about the debate last night. I think we have a caller ready to go. Mark D. calling in from Connecticut. We don't have Mark anymore. Do we have a call ready? All right, we got Mark. Mark.
Hi, John. I'm sorry we got disconnected. I can do this in 20 seconds if you'd let me, please.
Go ahead, sir.
I actually am lifelong Republican. I actually had to turn the debate off, John.
Really?
Yes, I feel that we've been through 7 years of division in this country, and it was time to bring a healer. I didn't care, man, woman, or where they came from. We needed a healer. And talking about man's genitals is just outrageous. I don't know if I'll watch another one.
All right, well,
and
Mark,
if
thanks.
I may add, pardon me?
Thanks for your call, Mark. We're going to try to get some other calls. I want to get Brent and Pete to react to that. We knew it was going to happen, right, Pete? We knew that was going to come back up. What do you think? Did you have to change the channel too?
Well, actually, the caller did a lot better than I did. I didn't even watch the debate, to be honest with you. I opted for the American president last evening, which made me feel a lot better watching a fictional president that I don't even agree with ideologically than to watch that train wreck. I mean, from every indication of what I've seen, what I've read, not only are we off the rails, but the car has driven off the cliff. It's gone into a pond. The passengers are trapped and they're drowning. That's what last night was. It was a debacle. It was childish kindergarten taunts going from the candidates. You know, I thought of this. It was the 11th Republican debate, and there were a lot of violations of Reagan's 11th commandment. The only thing is, Donald Trump is not actually a Republican, so I guess in that sense, it's fair to attack him and necessary, but I don't know if it's going to dislodge him.
All right, we'll get another call I want to get to. We got Chris Y. calling in from Alabama. Chris, how's it going? What's your question?
Hey, real quick statement. I just would, like to say, after watching the debate last night, I kind of wish Trump vodka was still in business because I could have used a lot of it. Just turned this whole process into an absolute laughingstock. I think people need to really take a deep breath and take the emotion out of this right now and really get their support behind a constitutional conservative.
Yeah, Trump vodka. I think we all could have had the Trump vodka drinking game going last night. Brent, a lot of discussion last night about, and Chris, thanks for your call, a lot of discussion last night about Trump's failed business. Do you think that has a greater potential to hurt him? And there's also this tax return thing hanging out there. I think that could come back and bite him. If anything is, I think the tax return issue could. What do you think?
Oh, I think all those issues could come back and hurt him. I want to make one thing clear right off the top. I have average-sized hands.
Oh, Brent, don't go there.
Which makes me qualified to be the Republican nominee.
Don't go there.
But, you know, the movie The American President was actually a very good movie. And in it, Michael Douglas, as the president, says, our country has serious problems that demand serious leaders. And I think what we saw last night was something else. I would commend that people take a look at the letter put out by more than 100 Republican national security leaders about why they oppose Trump and why Donald Trump, in their opinion, these are Republicans and conservatives.
Right.
Why
guys,
Trump
including
would make
Michael
a
Hayden,
horrendous
who I have a lot of
president.
respect for, and Trump had to correct himself. That was the one thing I think, out of everything, that was the most appalling statement from last night about that these soldiers, our American troops, would obey an unlawful order from him if he were the commander-in-chief. That was the one thing that I really thought was over the line. We got one more caller I want to try to get to her. We got Peggy calling in from New York. Peggy, what's your statement or question?
I watched the debate last night, and I finally turned it off, too, because of Marco Rubio. He was behaving like a little boy. If he was in my classroom, I would be sending him to the office. You couldn't watch the debate because he kept talking. He should have been removed.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Peggy, thanks for your call. And if you are a teacher, thank you for everything you do for the students today. I think this was a worse debate performance for Marco Rubio than the prior one, or maybe even his worst. And he did. He looked like the little boy. He took the bait from Donald Trump. Pete, I don't see a way forward for Marco Rubio, especially after last night.
Yeah, if you look at the delegate math, he cannot win this with an outright majority at the convention. The only play Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, or John Kasich have at this moment is stopping Trump from getting that outright majority and having a convention floor fight. Earlier you said the debate was a lot like Jerry Springer, to the caller's point. The only thing missing was Steve, the bodyguard, to pull some of these guys off stage.
Well, I want to have my final thought here in a moment, but I want to get to one last caller. We got Virginia calling in from Kansas. In Virginia, you got the caucus coming up here. Who are you going to caucus with? Who are you going to go with?
Donald Trump.
You're going to go with Donald Trump. All right, we've got a lot of Trump haters on the line today. I want you to defend your candidate. Tell us why you're supporting him.
Well, because whatever he says, I believe what he says, and I think that he will stand up for us, and I think he will be a strong president, and I think we need that, and I like him, and I just feel like he's really, truly getting treated unfairly. But what I really called about was the debate last night, and I watched it a little while, and I was like, Peggy, it was so repugnant to me, I turned it off.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up here. We're out of time, unfortunately. Brent, last 15 seconds to you. Do you think there's going to be any recourse for what happened last night?
Oh, I hope in particular that Marco Rubio learns to be more of a statesman because he has something to offer. But I think the Republicans have a pile of trouble, and I think the Democrats are looking good. Mud wrestling doesn't make commander-in-chief. These are serious times.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they got a lot of ratings last night. Don't know if it helped the political conversation. Pete, Brent, thanks for joining us, and all our callers. Mark, Chris, Virginia. Hopefully get more callers soon in the near future. We got more ahead on Newsmax Now. Stick around.